RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by First Mid-America Credit Union. New name, same great credit union. Tom Lane State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Gerard Fisher American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof. Alton Refrigeration, the first choice in quality HD TV and appliances. Barry Macias, professional independent insurance agents. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Nautilus, the area's finest fitness facility. And Alton Tree Service. With 11 years of experience, there is no tree we can't handle.
7th start, and that's tops on the team. So let's get the game started. Jordan Heckler will lead off, then it's Graham and Curtis in the top half of the first inning. Pitch, and it's a called strike on the outside corner as Kress gets ahead of the leadoff man, Heckler. White hats with a black bill. Second pitch outside for a ball. 1-1 the count to the leadoff. Ball. Here's a fake bunt and a called strike on the outside corner. Heckler, Graham, and Curtis, first three up for Edwardsville this inning in this key South. From Kress, and it misses outside, ball 2. 2-2 the count to the leadoff man.
Be important to get.
Right-handed pitcher Kress, ground ball towards third base, and it will be foul. Moving towards the bag to make the grab over there was Spurgeon, but the ball goes just foul. And the home plate umpire called it that before it reached the base. So it's a 2-2 count to Heckler. A little bit of a breeze blow. There's a pitch from Kress, just misses outside, ball 3. Full count to the leadoff man. What is that, the 6th pitch of the at-bat?
You're a hitter.
If you're a hitter, yes. Here's a fly ball near the out-of-bounds fence, and it's going to go out of play just beyond the Edwardsville dugout. Giving chase over there was Matthews for Alton, and a lot of foul space here, but he ran out of room there.
If you're a hitter, you'd like to make the pitcher work as much as he can, and this is a pretty good at-bat to open the game up here for Heckler, the shortstop.
Pitch misses outside, and the leadoff man reaches on a walk. So Heckler will get to first and brings up Blake Graham, center fielder.
Now you had him down in the count, not the way you want to start the game off. Those leadoff walks are typically come back.
From first, here's the first pitch to Graham outside for a ball. Graham bats from the left side. The infield. Here's another pitch low for a ball, ball 2 to Graham. Curtis on deck for position. Kress has it fouled off by Graham. 2-1 the count to Graham.
He had a hitter's count there and looking for something good to rip there, and he took a pretty good swing at it, but fouled it off right at the plate.
Blake Graham hitting .269 coming into this game here this afternoon. Several of these Edwardsville Tiger batters well over 300, some over 400. But still hitting over 400. He's in the lineup. Throw over to first base. Runner diving back in, Heckler. Leads where they have to dive in, unlike Major League Baseball where you see the There's a pitch from Kress. Just misses high, and that's ball 3. 3-1 to Graham after going full to Heckler. So a lot of pitches in. Pitch is ball 4. Just high, I guess. And a second walk for the Edwardsville Tigers, and they've got 2 on. They've yet to put the bat on the ball.
Pitching coach Pete Kleeman going to take a trip to the mound here.
Going to talk with his hurler. Normally not a pitcher, but he gets the start here this afternoon. They're going to calm him down. Want to remind we'll be hearing on Z1570. Second game is a softball matchup between the Southwestern Ladybirds and the Marquette Lady Explorers. That's going to get started right around 6:30 or so. Brent Berkland on the call for that one. Southwestern and Marquette girls softball coming up a bit later on. All right, the pitching coach had his words with the pitcher. Now we're going to get the third place hitter, Drew Curtis, stepping in. He's the left fielder for Edwardsville with runners at first and second. Is late. Here's the pitch just outside for a ball, and we haven't seen Kress getting ahead of these pitchers, and that's key if you're a pitcher. You want to get ahead.
Well, he did on the opening batter, but then wound up losing him and was never.
The lead. Here's the pitch from Kress, inside corner for a strike, counts even, 1-1. Cleanup man Derek Page on deck. Pitch from Kress, low, bounces in the dirt. Dinging it out there was Gibbs. And he shakes his catcher's mitt to get the dust out of his glove. 2-1 count to Curtis. Heckler leads off second. Graham takes. Here's a pitch at the knees called strike 2. Counts square at 2-2 to Curtis. Top of the first inning, Edwardsville and Alton. And a beautiful Thursday afternoon. From Kress, just misses outside, and he goes full to the third straight. Well, actually, Graham, he just had a 3-1 count, but went full to Heckler, and now he's full to Curtis.
Well, this is already an 18-pitch inning, and he still hasn't gotten an out.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him swinging for the first out of the inning. Drew Curtis with a little bit of an off-speed pitch that time from the pitcher Kress, and he retires the first man in the inning.
Well, you needed that in the worst way. I mean, you worked it full here again and finally able to get an out here without the benefit of the runners advancing, and that is number 5, Ben Baldridge, warming up in the bullpen.
Derek Page stands in with runners at first and second, 1 out. From the stretch, Kress finds the bottom of the strike zone for a called strike 1. Page on the season hitting .358. He's got 3 home runs and 21 RBI. His 21 RBI tops on the team. Graham off first, another off-speed pitch and gets him swinging, strike 2.
Little change up there, got him out in front, and now he's working ahead in the count, 0-2. Just getting it out in the game maybe kind of helped him settle in here a little bit.
DH Alex Reish on deck. He'll be the next batter unless there's a double. Another off-speed pitch, curveball for a strike, and Page, second straight strikeout gets, or Kress, second straight strikeout gets Page looking that time.
Yeah, he knew it too. It was a curveball, and he was fooled. He was looking for something else. Buckled the knees, and he takes that slow walk to the dugout. Never easy, and Boy, after an inauspicious start, a chance to get out of the inning now.
Might see that pitcher warming up, sit down for a little bit. 2 straight strikeouts here from Kress. 2 outs now with runners on first and second. And still, Edwardsville has not started the runners. Swinging in the back. And he watches a ball inside. 2-0 count to Alex Reich, the DH. He's batting in place of the pitcher, Boyd.
This might be a good hit and run count here.
Second baseman tries to keep Heckler close. Now he retreats back to the stretch. Delivers a pitch inside and ripped down the third baseline foul. 2-1 count to Reich now. Alec Pizzini will bat next. He's the catcher for the Tigers. Redbirds and Tigers playing in a conference game on a Thursday afternoon. A lot of rivals playing. Here's a pitch just high. Misses for ball 3 to Reich. 3-1 count now. And Kress has got to deliver a pitch, you would think, that's hittable in this 3-1 count. They dance off the base. Here's a ground ball to the third baseman. He has it bounce off his hat, and he still throws across, but late. Spurgeon had that ball come up and knock his hat off. He was able to grab it and throw across, but it was not in time. And Reich reaches on what we will call an error on the third baseman.
We will call that an error. That's got to be the end of the inning here. You got to have that one. That was a tailor-made ground ball. You usually say tailor-made double play, but well, that's an inning ender there. And if you're a pitcher, you just hope to shake that one off. And Edwardsville's got the bases loaded here without the benefit of a hit.
Pizzini stands in, the catcher. There's number 24 on his orange. From the stretch position, and a foul back to the backstop. First pitch to Pizzini, fouled off. Devin Bryan is on deck. He'll hit next, unless we see an end to this inning. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. No score, but Edwardsville's threatening. They've got the bases loaded. Pitcher Clint Kress misses outside, ball 1. If they remove Clint Kress from the game, I'm not sure if he would be able to. His pitch swung on and grounded. Foul down the third base line. Got someone down the line there protecting the catcher who's got his back to the play. He made the stop. Second strike to Pizzini, 1-2 the count. Two strike pitch, and he strikes out the side. Wasn't the prettiest of first innings with 3 strikeouts, however. Kress is able to jog off to the dugout, and Alton does not allow a run. Edwardsville leaves the bases loaded. We've played 1 inning of baseball at Lloyd Hopkins Field. No score. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Low-hanging branches? Loose limbs? Storm damage? Don't risk climbing up that shaky ladder. Let Alton Tree Service do it for you. Fully insured with over 11 years of experience, protecting your home and family is what we do best. From trimming to complete removal, there is no tree we can't handle. Contact Alton Tree Service today for a free, no-obligation estimate at 618-977-1413. From its birth in 1931 on Broadway in Alton to its new home on Homer Adams Parkway, welcome to Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings. Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings earned its outstanding customer service reputation in servicing major appliance brands such as Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, Samsung, and more. When you think about it, Alton Refrigeration is about providing you with years of comfortable living with worry-free brand name products.
Ready for the bottom half of the first inning. Let's give you the batting order for the Alton Redbirds. Leading off and playing center field is Ron Wisnowski. Batting second and playing third base is Niles Spurgeon. Hitting third and playing left field is Lawrence Moore. The cleanup man, the catcher, Brent Gibbs. Shane Matthews plays first base and hits fifth, followed by Zach Moxie. He's the DH. Clint Kress is the pitcher. He'll hit seventh in the order. Austin Stilts, the second baseman, hits eighth. And the ninth place batter for Alton is Luke Edwards. He's your right fielder. On the mound, Javon Boyd for Edwardsville. And first pitch strike to the leadoff man for the Alton Redbirds, Ron Wisnowski. 0-1 count to Wisnowski. Stands in from the right side. Boyd is a right-handed hurler. Tall, lanky. Here's a ground ball to the second baseman. Making the play there is Hanks. Throws across for the out. First batter retired here in the bottom of the first inning.
That was a slow hit ball, and he had to make a quicker play there than maybe he anticipated or expected. And good job by Wisnowski hustling down the line to make that a close play. But it got him by about a half a step.
This pitcher for the Edwardsville Tigers, Javon Boyd, making his 7th start of the year. He's got a 1-1 record. He's thrown 22 innings. And in those 22 innings, he had runs, 10 of them earned. He's got a 3.18 ERA. First pitch to Spurgeon is a ball. Second pitch to Spurgeon is a ball, high. 2-0 count to Spurgeon.
He throws it hard. It's just sometimes it's all about his control.
We don't have his height and weight, but he's got to stand every bit of 6'4", I would think. Maybe 6'2". 6'2", we're told. Here's a called strike, or actually ball 3 to Spurgeon. So a 3-0 count. We'll see Spurgeon taking here, you would expect. And he watches a called strike 1. Lawrence Moore on deck for the Alton Redbirds.
He
His
pitched.
microphone.
He pitched in the sectional championship game last year, and
he walks the batter. Spurgeon walks on 5 pitches.
this was an Edwardsville team that reached a super last year, and I believe they lost to New Lenox Providence.
You get the thumb up.
Well, I was at the sectional championship game, and I remembered about as much as I could.
Spurgeon will take his lead off first as the third place batter Lawrence Moore steps in, fakes a bunt, and takes a strike.
This was a pitcher that was 7-0 last year.
Lawrence Moore hitting .429 on the season for the Redbirds. Looks down to the third base coach's box, gets the sign. Standing in from the right side, pickoff throw at first, not in time to get Spurgeon. Brent Gibbs on deck. Not yet. He's a catcher. He's allowed to take his time to get out there. Pitch is grounded to the second baseman. Gets by him, and it goes to right field. And going to third base is Spurgeon, and he'll be held up there as Moore grounds one into right field. I don't think the second baseman ever got a glove on it, so you almost have to give him a hit.
He didn't. He just took a crazy hop by him. He thought it was going to come up to him, and it just stayed, and it took a wicked hop at the last second away from him, and
so now
a strange base hit there.
It looked like it was going to be right at him, and then all of a sudden he had to reach to his side, and obviously that bounce fooled him. So the runner on first takes his lead. They're holding him on. Here's a foul ball right back into the net, and that's strike 1 to Brent Gibbs.
If it makes it through that netting up there and comes through this window, are you going to be ready? Because you're right in line, not me.
There is a gap there, and the window is open. Runners on first and third. There's just one out here in the bottom of the first inning. Alton looking to grab the lead. Pitch misses high, and the count's even at 1-1 to Brent Gibbs. Shane Matthews will bat next for the Redbirds.
Yeah, that ball looked like it was going right to, it's weird, right to Hanks, and then it just kind of took a right turn.
Here's a fake pickoff at third. They try to go back to first and almost got Moore leaning. Usually you say that play never works, but that time Moore was leaning, and I think the steal play was on.
Listen, don't tell Rick Sutcliffe that. He's the one that kind of got that thing going, and it worked for him. How? I have no idea.
Moore takes his lead off first. And the ball is driven to right field, and it's going to be fouled by about 10 feet down the right field line. So the batter, Gibbs, will trot back to home plate. Alton fans were hoping that ball would stay foul, but it tails, or stay fair, but it tails foul.
You sure it was 10 feet? Well, you sure it wasn't 7 or 8 maybe?
It might have been 9.5.
Okay. Just making sure.
Spurgeon will take his lead off third. Moore's the runner at first. The pitcher from the stretch position, Boyd, again fakes the throw to third. This time he doesn't go back to first.
Those are called from the dugout.
Yeah, you think Mike Waldo's doing that?
Yeah, he might have a say or two in what goes on with the pitchers.
Does he play the slow down game in baseball like he does in basketball?
Yeah.
Here's a high pitch, misses in the delivery to Gibbs. That's ball 2, 2-1. Alton threatening here after Edwardsville stranded the bases loaded in the top half of the first. Runners on first and third with 1 out. Boyd comes set, checks the runner at first. Again, fakes the throw to third, and everybody gets back safely. Brent Gibbs, the catcher for the Alton Redbirds, swings that bat slowly behind his helmet, and he drives one into center field. That's going to play for the center fielder. Is it deep enough? The runner tags and will score easily. Graham made the catch out in center field, and he didn't even try to throw Spurgeon out at home. And the RBI by Gibbs on the sacrifice fly.
Probably not a play at the plate there, and Gibbs does his job. He, at the very least, wanted to deliver the sac fly, and he's able to do that.
So 1 run is in, and the Alton Redbirds take the early lead over the Edwardsville Tigers here in the bottom half of the first inning. Lawrence Moore has to stay at first. Now there's 2 outs, and Matthews comes to bat. Matthews bats from the left side. No batting gloves for Shane Matthews. Pitch driven towards second base, through into the outfield for a hit. Moore slides at second, but's able to get up. Now he gets in a rundown. Wide throw at third, and he's going to stand up and walk into the base. He would have been out if he kept going. After sliding at second base, he gets up and tried to move on to third. The throw comes into third base strong from the outfield. Moore was going to try to get in a rundown, but he didn't have to as the throw got wild. And Matthews trots into second base, a single, and he'll take second on the throw. So that puts runners at second and third, and Moore would have been out if he would have ran straight through and that ball was caught at third base, but it was mishandled. Now runners on second and third with 2 outs, and Moxie comes to bat. Moxie watches a called strike 1. Moxie's the designated hitter in Coach Todd Haug's lineup. And he watches a called strike 1. Clint Kress, the pitcher, on deck for Alton. Boyd's pitch, off speed and fouled off, strike 2. The way Edwardsville loaded the bases in the top half of the first, and Alton got out of that jam, and now Alton responds with a run. Now they've got 2 more runners in scoring position. They could take control of this game here if they get a big 2-out hit.
You can get a good lead right off the bat.
Here's Boyd getting the batter swinging. Moxie goes down with the first strikeout of the game for Javon Boyd. Edwardsville allows 1 run in this bottom of the first inning on 2 base hits. There was no errors in the inning, and 2 men are left on base. Alton leads Edwardsville 1-0. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready. She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
It's going to be a busy day of baseball for Coach Todd Haug's Alton Redbirds. Not only are they playing their arch rival, the Edwardsville Tigers, here this afternoon, but they've also got a date with Southwestern in a game that's supposed to start at 7 o'clock here at Hopkins Field.
Not the way that first inning went.
It might be delayed a little bit. All right, go to the top of the second inning, and it's Devin Bryan leading things off. And he watches one just miss outside. Bryan, Hillsman, and Hanks due up this inning for the Edwardsville Tigers. Still got that pitcher warming up, or he's down in the bullpen, but he's not really throwing right now. Here's a swing and a miss, strike two to Bryan. Kress on the hill for the Alton Redbirds. Edwardsville had the bases loaded in the top of the first, but couldn't push across to run. Here's a ball outside. Ball one to Bryan. Other games going on in the Southwestern Conference. Belleville East versus Granite City. Belleville West versus Collinsville. And East St. Louis playing O'Fallon. All of those games going on today. Kress throws. The pitch is swung on and grounded towards the shortstop. Throw over to first. No! The umpire was going to call him out, and then he changes his mind and calls him safe. So Bryan reaches on an infield single.
I'll be honest with you, I believe they got it right.
The umpire, he was all set to make the out call, but then he stops in mid-motion and says safe.
That's where he gets himself into definitive call one way or the other, but I believe he got it right.
The ground ball was in the hole, and Holiday,
it was going to be a tough play for him to make.
Yeah, he had a long throw as that ball was almost out to the grass. And now
but this is where you get yourself in trouble, where you go half one call and then half the other. Now you're going to expect a chat from the opposing manager, no doubt about it.
Coach Haug is going to say, okay, you thought about calling him out. Why didn't you stay with it?
I think if you make a definitive call one way or the other, I think both can live with it.
Yeah.
But I believe he got it. Believe it or not, I think he got it right.
Haug's going to walk back slowly towards the dugout, and now Matthew Hillsman will stand in. Hillsman, a right-handed batter, with Bryan on at first base. First hit of the game for Edwardsville, leading off the top of the second inning. So again, operating from the stretch is Kress, and he gets the outside corner, strike one called to Hillsman. Hanks on deck. And then if we go to the top of the order, Heckler will be the leadoff man. Right-handed pitcher Kress peeks over his shoulder to check the runner. Off-speed pitch for a strike, called strike two.
You can throw a good 12-6 curveball. You should be in for a good game.
And he's getting it over. He's getting those called curveballs for strikes. A lot of times a pitcher will get the guy swinging at a curveball and the ball was never in the strike zone, like that one, which just misses and he's able to lay off. 1-2 count to Hillsman. Edwardsville stranded, the bases loaded in the first inning, and they were retired on 3 strikeouts by Kress. 2 swinging strikes and 1 caught looking. Throw over to Matthews, and Matthews wasn't really holding the man on. He's a good step or so away from the base, and that throw kind of surprised him a little bit on the pickoff play. Try to get Bryan wandering. Pitch just misses outside to Hillsman, evens the count at 2-2. Don't see many pitchers wearing a single-digit number. Well, at least in the major leagues you usually don't. High school, so many players on the roster are considered to be pitchers, and Kress wears number 8. Gets on top of that one, and he gets the man swinging. Strike out number 4 of the game for Hillsman. All 4 of the outs recorded have been via the strikeout.
You wouldn't have imagined that with the way he started with back-to-back walks, but settled in quite nicely here now. And there was an error, also an error, and an infield single. Other than that, really no other contact.
Bryan on first, leads off now with 1 out. as Hanks just gets a piece of one. Catcher Gibbs couldn't hold on. Foul, strike one to Hanks, the 9th place batter. Heckler on deck, leadoff man. Standing tall on the mound is Clint Kress, right-handed pitcher, operating from the stretch more often than not in this game after walking the first man he faced. Runners on that entire first inning. Now the leadoff man reaches here in the 2nd inning. Might be one of those guys where he can just pitch from the stretch the entire game and be effective. Here's a curveball, misses outside for a ball. 1-1 the count to Hanks. Alton scored in the bottom half of the first after Edwardsville failed to push across to run. Alton leads 1-0 here. We're in the top of the 2nd. Kress delivers, ground ball to the 3rd baseman, goes to second base and on to first for a double play. Spurgeon to Stilts, over to Matthews for the 5-4-3 double play, and the Edwardsville Tigers are retired in the top half of the 2nd inning. 1 hit in the inning, no one left on, no runs scored. Alton still leads Edwardsville 1-0. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
When you own a business, your loss could be your employees' loss too. That's why you should put American Family Insurance and me to work right away. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. I can help you design property and liability coverages that fit the needs of your specific business. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Whether you're planning for home improvement projects, family vacations, college tuition, or consolidating credit card debt, use your home for what you need. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer home equity loans and lines of credit that can lower your costs. For more information, visit www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a First Mid-America Credit Union representative.
We start the bottom of the 2nd inning, and it's the Alton Redbirds coming to bat, leading 1-0. Kress, Stilts, and Edwards due up this inning for the Redbirds. Javon Boyd starts his 2nd inning of work on the mound, and the first pitch is a strike to Kress. 2nd pitch swung on and fouled off, strike 2.
Well, he's hitting for himself here today, so batting in the number 7 slot.
He has some good numbers for Kress at the plate. .423 batting average. He's had 29 plate appearances, 26 official at-bats, and he does have 4 RBI on the season. Leading off here in the bottom of the 2nd, fouls another off. 0-2 count to Clint Kress. Boyd from the windup throws the 0-2 pitch just inside for a ball. 1-2 count to Kress. Stilts on deck. Edwardsville will hit 3rd this inning. He's the 9th place batter. Boyd operating quickly here. Has one grounded right back to him. Boyd will take his time. Almost throws it wide at first. He had the first baseman, Brian, reaching for it over there, but makes the put out.
Never take those easy ones for granted, huh? I already wrote down 1-3 before he even made the throw over. I would have had to have
changed it to
change that, yeah.
E1 maybe.
Kress just kind of took a stab at that one. Looked like he was pulling away from the ball and just a little one-hopper right back up the middle.
There's a called strike 1 to Stilts right at the numbers. Austin Stilts, 2nd baseman for Alton, hitting number 8 in the lineup with 1 out here. Swings and fouls one. Will it stay in play? Giving chase Brian, and he can't make the catch. Got a glove on it, but he couldn't make the catch, as that was a difficult play for a first baseman to try to get under that one.
He's running away from it and running then all of a sudden up that right field line and could never quite get himself underneath that ball there. A long way to go and just out of his reach.
So the count is 0-2 to Stilts. Here's Boyd with the delivery. He overthrew that one a little bit, tried to put a little bit extra on it, and he misses outside in the dirt.
Well, we've seen him do that a time or two as well.
That bounce about midway through the left-handed batter's box.
Well, it's all a part of that control that they try to. That's a pitch there.
He gets the ball with movement, and he gets the batter looking on a strike 3. And then the catcher, trying to throw it around the horn, throws it about 10 feet over the head of the third baseman, and the ball goes into left field. So they decide, well, rather than throw it around, we'll just get it back to the pitcher.
Probably a good idea.
Edwards steps in. He's the 9th place batter. Right fielder for the Redbirds.
2 strikeouts now for Boyd. 2 out of the last 3 hitters he's faced.
So we're starting to see some Ks in the scorebook for both of these pitchers. First pitch is a ball to Luke Edwards. Wisnowski on deck. Driven into left field. Will it play? Yes, it will for the left fielder. Held up just a little bit, and Curtis was able to get over and catch it on the line drive, and it's the 3rd out of the inning. Edwards retired by the left fielder, Curtis. So 3 up, 3 down. Alton still leads Edwardsville. Score is 1-0 after 2. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
These days, it's hard to watch TV and not see a commercial where some car dealers make all kinds of empty promises they just can't keep. At Roberts, we don't make empty promises. What we will promise is a great selection of vehicles, all at great prices, along with the exceptional service you deserve before, during, and after the sale. Stop by today and see for yourself. Roberts Motors in Alton on Route 3 or online at riverBender.com.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We get ready to start the top half of the 3rd. Back to the top of the order, Heckler, Graham, and Curtis for Edwardsville. First pitchers in the hole, 0-1.
You going to buy me dinner at Golden Corral? Because I haven't had breakfast, lunch, or dinner today.
Well, there's a line drive to center field, and that's going to be right at the center fielder, Wisnowski, and he makes the play easily. Leadoff man flies out to start the 3rd inning.
A little bit off the end of the bat, but hit it right on the nose there, and Wisnowski makes a couple steps in, takes a couple steps in, is able to make the catch. Heckler now 0 for 1. He walked in the 1st and was left stranded at 3rd.
Another batter who walked in the 1st was Blake Graham. He stands in from the left side, grounds first pitch to the first baseman. Matthews steps on for the out unassisted. And there's quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. 2 pitches, two outs.
So Kress has gone from 31 to 12, and now 2 outs.
Yeah, I think there are actually 3 pitches.
3
right?
pitches,
Yeah.
yes. 3 pitches, and you'd love to have that number quickly reduced per pitch per inning.
Here's a foul ball. Rolls back to the screen. First pitch to Drew Curtis is just fouled.
Struck out in the 1st inning with runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out, and it was a spot that I thought Tim Funkhauser might utilize a bunt, but then on the flip side of that, you don't want to take the bat out of your number 3 hitter's hands either.
So right now he's batting with no one on and 2 outs. And a 0-1 pitch is just inside for a ball. 1-1 count to Curtis. After that foul tip, the catcher went out. Gibbs talked with his pitcher. I don't know if he was maybe crossed up on that pitch call. Here's another curveball in for a strike to Curtis. 1-2 the count. Curtis in the hole now, 1-2. He struck out first time up and got 2 strikes on him here. Kress with the delivery, and it's in the dirt for ball 2. Edwardsville has had runners on in each of the first 2 innings. Left the bases loaded in the 1st, and had just 1 base runner in the 2nd inning. Here's a ball 3 outside to Curtis, and the count is full. Clint Kress with another full count to an Edwardsville batter. This is Drew Curtis, and an off-speed pitch for a called strike 3. Second time in this game that Curtis has struck out. This time he strikes out looking, And the Ks are adding up for this hurler for the Alton Redbirds, Clint Kress. He sets them down 1-2-3 here in the top of the third inning. The Alton Redbirds lead the Edwardsville Tigers by a 1-0 score. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? If you never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
First game of a baseball-softball doubleheader. Edwardsville versus Alton in boys baseball. Yet to come, Southwestern and Marquette in girls softball. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Alton coming to bat. Leadoff man, Ron Wisnowski. Watches a called ball 1 from the pitcher Boyd. Here's another to Wisnowski, and that one is fouled, out of play. Strike 1, 1-1 count to the leadoff man. Niles Sturgeon bats next, followed by Lawrence Moore III. Boyd from the windup slings one in there, gets him swinging, strike 2. Outfield pretty much straight. Well, actually, the center fielder is shaded towards right field with this right-handed batter up. And here's a pitch, misses high to Wisnowski, and the count is even at 2-2. So the center fielder is shaded towards right field, but the corner outfielders are pretty much straight away. Here's a ground ball down the third baseline and foul. Count remains 2-2. On deck, Spurgeon for Alton. They've got the 1-0 lead, scoring their run in the bottom of the first inning. It was Spurgeon who scored after walking to lead off, or actually walking with one out in that bottom half of the first inning. Right-handed batter Wisnowski grounds one back to the pitcher. Boyd takes his time, fires over to first to retire Wisnowski, the leadoff man, and that brings up Spurgeon.
This time he made sure he got a good strong throw over to the bag.
Yeah, he didn't let up or anything. He kind of fired it to the first baseman, Brian, who made the catch. Lawrence Moore on deck. Spurgeon comes to bat, walked the first time up, and would come around to score on the sacrifice fly from Gibbs. First pitch is a ball low to Spurgeon. Boyd standing tall on the mound from the windup. Misses just inside. Counts even 1-1. Spurgeon on the season for the Redbirds, hitting .360. I said the count was even. It's actually 2-1 now after a called strike. Count was 2-0 before that pitch. And a swinging miss by Spurgeon, and the count's even now at 2-2. Beautiful afternoon for baseball. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on Z1570. My name is Craig Ballman. Louis Korak's also here. Here's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 to Spurgeon. Another strikeout for Boyd. He's now struck out 3 on the game. And that brings up Lawrence Moore.
Looks like Boyd settled in here too after a rather slow start in the first inning where he gave up a couple of hits and walked a batter.
Moore Moore was the first of those to get a hit, and he's going to try to bunt for a hit here.
He's fast.
Down the first base line, he's going to be tagged by Boyd.
Nice play.
The pitcher came over, and you don't normally see a pitcher get almost to the first base line and still be able to tag the runner, but Boyd bounced off the mound well, was able to grab it with a bare hand and get Moore as he was flashing by him, and the Alton Redbirds are retired in order 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the third. Still 1-0 Alton. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Low-hanging branches? Loose limbs? Storm damage? Don't risk climbing up that shaky ladder. Let Alton Tree Service do it for you. Fully insured with over 11 years of experience, protecting your home and family is what we do best. From trimming to complete removal, there is no tree we can't handle. Contact Alton Tree Service today for a free, no-obligation estimate at 618-977-1413. From its birth in 1931 on Broadway in Alton to its new home on Homer Adams Parkway, welcome to Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings. Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings earned its outstanding customer service reputation in servicing major appliance brands such as Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, Samsung, and more. When you think about it, Alton Refrigeration is about providing you with years of comfortable living with worry-free brand name products.
Innings of play, the Edwardsville Tigers have 0 runs. They've had 1 hit in the game. There's been 1 error committed by the Alton Redbirds, and there's 3 men left on base. The minimum have batted the last 2 innings off of Clint Kress, the Alton pitcher. Here's the first man watching, a pitch miss outside for a ball. Derek Page leading off the 4th. Page, Reish, and Pizzini here in the 4th inning for Edwardsville. Another delivery from Kress catches the outside corner, 1-1 count to Page. Last time up, Page was caught looking for the 2nd strikeout recorded by Kress. He struck out the side back in the 1st inning.
Well, he struck out the 3 and 4 hitters in his lineup after he hits them there.
That curveball didn't curve, and Page gets plunked in the back, and he reaches first base on the hit by pitch.
Well, before that, I was just saying with the 3 and 4 hitters, between Curtis and Page, we're 0 for 3 and all 3 strikeouts.
Alex Reish steps in. He's the designated hitter for Edwardsville, so he's got a man on, nobody out. See how aggressive Edwardsville is here, trailing 1-0 as we are in the 4th inning now. Pitch misses outside. Digging it out nicely was Gibbs behind the plate. He had to slide over and get that ball on a short hop and keep the runner on first from going to second. Reish reached on an error first time up. Sorry about that, Lou.
Gonna blow my eardrums out?
And the listeners. Ball 2 to Alex Reish. Kress operating from that stretch position again with a runner on first. Last inning was the first inning that he did not have the opportunity to pitch from the stretch. He set him down in order in that 3rd inning. Needed a double play to retire the minimum 3 batters in the 2nd inning. Ball 3.
Well, you're going to take a pitch here, undoubtedly.
Yeah, Reish is going to hold that bat on his shoulder, you would expect. Get a throw over to first. Still got throwers down in the bullpen area for Alton. Maybe a different person down there now because he's just kind of short tossing.
It looks like Tanner Miles down there. Left-hander.
There's the 3-0 pitch, called strike 1 to Alex Reish.
And it is Tanner Miles warming up.
Yeah, he's just soft tossing right now. He hasn't climbed the mound down there, down the left field line.
Well, we're getting towards the middle portion of the game here. You want to start thinking about closing games out.
The pitch by Kress swung on and missed. Strike 2 to Alex Reish.
Well, he took just enough off of that one to get the batter out in front. And, well, even the 2nd time through, he's got some of these Edwardsville batters guessing at pitches. It's a good sign if you're Alton.
Alton's trying to sweep the season series from the Edwardsville Tigers. They beat them in Edwardsville.
When's the last time that happened?
I don't know. Late March. 9-3 game. This one's much closer, at least right now. 1-0 Alton. Throw over to first, and getting back easily was Page. Now as the pitcher steps off, Page retreats back to the bag. Now he takes his lead. He's off and going, drive down to left field, and that's going to get down. It's going to go for extra bases, and the runner, Page, rounds third, and he's being stopped at third as Reish reached second on a double in the corner in left field. That was a hard hit ball, and Tim Funkhauser did not risk trying to send the runner from first base. Maybe Derek Page is not his fastest runner, and he was off with the pitch, but he still had to stop at third.
Well, you don't want to commit the first out at home either. You'd like to have a situation where he knows, he sees the game in front of him. It's second and third, nobody out. You're going to feel like you're going to at least tie this thing up, and you commit that first out at home, and that's one of those rule of thumbs too, where you don't want to commit that first out at third base either. So take the chances here, and I think the way you got to look at that too is Lawrence Moore did a nice job of getting to the baseball, getting it in quickly to be able to hold those runners right where they're at.
We're going to get another stoppage here and another visit from the pitching coach from Alton. Going to talk with Clint Kress and the catcher. The infielders don't come in for this conference, just going to be the pitcher, catcher, and pitching coach. Z1570 presents the business of the day. It's Golden Corral in Alton, home of the Chocolate Wonderfall. They've got new dipping treats that have everyone falling in love at Golden Corral in Alton. Second visit from the pitching coach as Clint Kress making his first start. So far, he's not allowed a run, but he's got 2 on with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. The first 2 men have reached for the Edwardsville Tigers. Page on a hit by pitch advances to third on the double by Reish, and now Pizzini steps in with runners in scoring position. Right-handed batter Pizzini struck out last time up. Kress delivers. Fly ball into center field. Back goes the center fielder. He is not going to get it. It bounces off the wall. 1 run is in. Runner from second will score. The throw will come into third base, and standing up with a triple is Alec Pizzini. And just like that, back-to-back hits, the first hits of the game allowed by Kress, and Edwardsville has taken the 2-1 lead on the triple by Alec Pizzini.
Well, it's actually their 3rd hit of the day, but
that's right.
Those 2 balls were tattooed there, particularly that one by Pizzini there, and it looks like maybe the young sophomore is starting to tire a little bit on the mound. Balls aren't quite as sharp as they were early in the game, and here comes Todd Hogg, and he's not going to waste any time. He's not going to let this kid lose his confidence. He's going to get him out of there now. He did a good job while he was in there.
And Kress comes off the mound, and is he going to change gloves and go back to the outfield?
I would imagine so.
Looks like he's going to jump into the dugout. So far, he's not. Looks like he's looking maybe for his other glove. And he'll probably stay in the game. Yeah, he's going to trot out to, looks like he'll be the right fielder. So he'll go out to right field, and for Alton, Edwards will come into the dugout. So there's been a pitching change. We're going to take a break here. We're going to send it back to the studios. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake. You bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
For the Alton Redbirds is Tanner Miles. He's making his 12th appearance on the mound. That's tops on the Alton Redbird pitching staff. He's got a 1-1 record. He's thrown 25.3 innings on the season, and his ERA is a minuscule .55.
Yeah, he's been something else. I don't know offhand how many saves he's got, but at one point there, about a week or so ago, picked up his 6th save. Yes, he's got 6 saves, and he picked that up against Belleville East last week.
He's on the mound here, not in a save situation, because the Redbirds find themselves trailing 2-1. And there's nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning, runner on third. First pitch is a strike. Second pitch driven towards first base. Matthews makes the catch. And he caught it before the ball bounced, so he's ruled out on a line drive right to Matthews. He showed that he had the ball, and the umpires agreed with him, so he didn't have to step on first.
Well, they played the infield in and paid off that time. They want to try to keep that 3rd run from scoring, thinking there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot more going on here today. So it's a big at bat here for Hulsman. Runner at 3rd, 1 out.
Miles gets the first man. He's a left-handed pitcher, and he misses outside. Ball 1 to Matthew Hulsman. Jake Hanks is the on-deck man. This is the bottom of the order, batters 8 and 9 in the Edwardsville lineup.
Well, that's why they're going to play the infield. They're playing him in actually strange at 3 of the spots, and on at shortstop, though, straight away.
First baseman and third baseman set to charge if he would square to bunt. So far, he's watched a couple of pitches outside of the strike zone, 2-0 to the 8th place hitter. Struck out last time up as Tanner Miles operates on the mound from the stretch, and he gets the outside corner for a strike. You could see the way Miles is popping that catcher's mitt. He throws a bit harder than Crest does.
A little more experience out there, too. Certainly helps.
Looks in to get the sign from his catcher, Gibbs. 1 out, 2 runs in for Edwardsville here in the top of the 4th. Pitch is swung on and delivered deep into center field. Retreating and watching the ball bounce off the fence is the center fielder for Alton Wisnowski, and another run is in on the stand-up double from Matthew Hulsman.
It's the 3rd extra base hit of the inning, and that one, even if it's caught, undoubtedly gets that 3rd run home.
And that closes the book on the starter, Kress.
It does.
He allows all 3 runs, and he gave up 3 hits.
Yep.
And his pitching debut started out shaky, settled down in the 2nd and 3rd innings, but he gives up the lead here in the 4th, and now Edwardsville has the 3-1 advantage. 9th place hitter comes to bat, Jake Hanks, with a runner on second, 1 out.
Well, there have been 3 hard hit balls here in this inning, and they've all gone a couple of doubles and a triple.
Hanks hit into a double play first time up. Fouls went off here as that pitch was in on his hands. He's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Top of the order, Heckler due up next. Runner on second takes his lead. That's Hulsman. Miles from the stretch checks the runner and delivers. Misses high for a ball. 1-2 count to Hanks. Alton had the 1-0 lead coming into this 4th, but now they trail 3-1. Edwardsville on top. Trying to keep the runner close at second. Pitch by Miles, high out of the strike zone. 2-2 the count. Jordan Heckler on deck. That's the leadoff man, and Alton did not want this 4th inning to get back to the top of the order, but Edwardsville's on the verge of having that happen. Ball 3 outside. Had him in the hole, 0-2, and now it's a 3-2 full count to Hanks.
He's just trying to overthrow the ball and trying to blow pitches by the batter instead of using his strengths and maybe mixing it up a little bit.
With a full count on the batter, here's the pitch from Miles. Gets him looking on the outside corner. Called strike 3. Big strikeout there for Alton.
Yeah, it's a good delivery there. And outside corner has been this umpire's friend here today, and he's been consistent with it. So really no arguments there. And
yeah, if anybody had any issues with the umpire's strike zone, it's probably those pitches right coming in at the numbers. Some of them have been called balls, where the pitchers were hoping for strikes. There's a one-hopper to the second baseman off his glove. Runner from second rounds third, and he's going to score as the ball goes into short right field. And that's Heckler with an RBI. One hopper off the glove of the second baseman. Official score, what are you going to call it?
I'm going to give him a base hit. It's not it's not the easiest play. It's not the hardest play, but it's not the easiest one either. Ranging to his left, you take a risk there where you think you got a play to be made.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a three-hopper. It was a line drive rope that the second baseman tried to catch on a bounce, and he got a glove on it, but he couldn't make the play. Here's a ground ball. Here's that three-hopper to the second baseman. Throws over to first for the third out of the inning as Graham is retired to end the inning. But not before Edwardsville plates 4 here in the 4th inning. They score on 4 hits. They leave 1 on base, and Edwardsville has taken a 4-1 lead over the Alton Redbirds. Bottom half of the 4th coming up for Alton. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
When you own a business, your loss could be your employee's loss too. That's why you should put American Family Insurance and me to work right away. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. I can help you design property and liability coverages that fit the needs of your specific business. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Whether you're planning for home improvement projects, family vacations, college tuition, or consolidating credit card debt, use your home for what you need. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer home equity loans and lines of credit that can lower your costs. For more information, visit www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a First Mid-America Credit Union representative.
1. And due up this inning, it's Gibbs, Matthews, and Moxie for the Redbirds.
Well, for the first time in the game, Boyd's on the mound with a lead.
And he gets ahead of the first man. Second pitch is swung on and lofted into short left field. Coming on to make the play is Curtis, the left fielder for the Tigers, and the first out recorded here in the bottom of the 4th.
If he doesn't swing at it, it's a ball, but it's a good pitch by Boyd because he jams the hitter there. He doesn't allow him to get those arms extended. This is a good hitter here. And it's one of those where you don't give him the full extension, and that's a routine fly ball to left field. Good pitch.
Matthews stands in. He strokes one right towards the second baseman. This is a short hop, and he throws wild at first. Matthews is going to turn the corner and look for second base, and he's in there with a slide as the catcher has to retreat in front of the dugout to get that loose ball. An error, and Matthews has reached base on an error by the second baseman. He's at second base now.
It's a simple routine play. No excuse for that one. That one's got to be made.
Yeah, the ball appeared to be hit sharper than it was, and when he made the play cleanly, I thought it was going to be an easy out at first, but he threw it wide.
Should have been an easy out.
Brian couldn't get to it. Now we got a runner on second, 1 out. Here's a ball ripped down the left field line into that Alton bullpen down there, and it's foul. Strike 1 to Moxie. Clint Kress on deck. Alton's got a runner on second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Trying to get some of these runs back after Edwardsville scored 4 in the top half of the inning. Laying off the pitch, and it misses low for a ball. Counts even, 1-1. First time up, Zach Moxie struck out. It was the first strikeout of the game for Boyd. He has 3 strikeouts total. Taking his lead, Matthews off second base. Boyd checks him. Pitch driven into right field. The right fielder works his way over, and Page makes the catch and throws it back into the outfield, or infield.
Tailing back towards Page out there. Pretty routine as well.
Makes the play pretty easily.
Kress will hit now as the right fielder.
Yeah, Kress is now the right fielder. He was the starting pitcher. Now he moves to right field with Miles taking the mound. Kress in this game grounded out to the first base, to the pitcher last time up. 2 outs now with a runner leading off second. Boyd checks, and the pitch grounded to the second baseman. Plays made by Hanks. He throws across. That throw wasn't the best.
Wow.
And Brian had to stretch to grab that one. So that retires the Alton Redbirds in the bottom of the 4th. They put 1 runner on via the error, and he's stranded Alton trails Edwardsville 4-1. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
These days, it's hard to watch TV and not see a commercial where some car dealers make all kinds of empty promises they just can't keep. At Roberts, we don't make empty promises. What we will promise is a great selection of vehicles, all at great prices, along with the exceptional service you deserve before, during, and after the sale. Stop by today and see for yourself. Roberts Motors in Alton on Route 3 or online at RiverBender.com.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
After this game, it's game 2 of our baseball-softball doubleheader. It will be the Southwestern Ladybirds taking on the Marquette Lady Explorers. Brent Birkeland's going to have the call of that one. And we hope it's on schedule to start for around 6:30 or so. And as we glance at the clock, it's right about 5:37 here on a Thursday afternoon. We go to the bottom half of the, actually we go to the top of the 5th inning for Edwardsville's at bat. The Tigers sending to bat Curtis, Page, and Reish here in the 5th inning, leading now 4-1, taking the lead last inning. The pitch from Miles misses outside. Ball 2 to the leadoff man here in the 5th, Curtis. Another pitch, and that one's catching the outside corner for strike 1. 2-1 the count. The Edwardsville Tigers scoring 4 in the 4th inning. Now a foul ball out of play. Evens the count 2-2 to Curtis.
And when do these teams play O'Fallon again? That's got to be coming up here soon.
The O'Fallon game versus Alton is scheduled for Tuesday, May the 8th. And that game is right here at Lloyd Hopkins Field. The Edwardsville Tigers are set to play O'Fallon. Actually, their next game next Tuesday. Here's a drive into right field that will get down and be cut off by the center fielder. Play at second base.
Nice play.
Here's a relay, and he's going to slide in safely. The throw from the center fielder for Alton, Wisnowski, was cut off by the cutoff man. And I think if Wisnowski knew that that runner was going to try to come into second, he may have tried to make a stronger throw, and it would have been a closer play at second base. But Curtis is able to slide in for a double to lead off the 5th inning.
And another extra base hit.
Boy, there's a bunch of them last 2 innings. Some hard hit balls from Edwardsville. Page started that rally last inning. When he reached on a hit by pitch, he would come around and score Edwardsville's first run of the game. Now he stands in against this relief pitcher for the Alton Redbirds, Tanner Miles. First pitch, ball in the dirt.
Well, we knew this Edwardsville lineup could hit. It's just you can see the job that the young sophomore Kress was able to do to these guys. Some of the pitches he was able to fool some of these good hitters with. Now they seem like they're starting to zero in a little bit.
Pitch is called, strike 1 on the outside corner. Again, both of these pitching staffs getting that call on the outside corner of the plate. And they're doing a good job, really, of trying to get the outside corner, and then like that pitch right there, an off-speed pitch coming in on the hands, but just a little bit too far inside. 2-1 the count. Reish is on deck. He doubled in the first run of the game for Edwardsville last inning. Runner on second is Curtis. He takes this lead. No one out here in the top of the 5th. Pitch just misses outside for ball 3. 3-1 count to Derek Page. Alton led, scoring a run in that opening inning. They've been blanked since. Edwardsville's got the lead here in the top of the 5th, and a called strike 2. And the count is full at 3-2 to Page. That drew some jeers from the Edwardsville folk just below us. Full count to Page. Runner takes his lead. Off-speed pitch misses high, and 2 runners are on here to start this 5th inning. Page reaches on a walk. First 2 batters of this game reached on walks by the starting pitcher Kress, but since then, there had not been a base on balls issued. Now we're going to
he's going to go to the bullpen again.
Yeah, it's going to be a short outing for Miles. He was able to get out of the 4th inning, but the first 2 men have reached here in the 5th, and now they're calling for the right-hander out of the bullpen. Who is this? We'll get a number real quickly.
It is Ben Baldridge, number 5.
Ben Baldridge was warming up earlier. He gets the call here. So with a pitching change being made, we're going to take a break here. It's going to be just a short break. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
Low-hanging branches? Loose limbs? Storm damage? Don't risk climbing up that shaky ladder. Let Alton Tree Service do it for you. Fully insured with over 11 years of experience, protecting your home and family is what we do best. From trimming to complete removal, there is no tree we can't handle. Contact Alton Tree Service today for a free, no-obligation estimate at 618-977-1413.
Ben Baldridge is the new pitcher for the Alton Redbirds. He's making his 8th appearance. He's got a record of 2-1 with a 1.78 ERA. He has allowed 5 runs in the 19.7 innings. 19.7 innings he's pitched?
2/3.
2/3.
You don't know .7s?
Well, I usually call it 2/3. Baldridge is wearing uniform number 5, right-handed pitcher for Coach Todd Haug. And he's in a jam. Got 2 runners on, nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Edwardsville leading 4-1, and they're looking to add to it with Alex Reich stepping in. Runners at first and second, nobody out. So the 3rd pitcher of the day takes to the hill for the Redbirds. Ben Baldridge looks at second base to check the runner. First pitch called ball 1. Reich has reached on an error, and he's doubled in a run. Actually, he doubled and they didn't score a run, I don't believe. I think that that double was not an RBI. Here's a called strike 1. It was Pizzini that had the 2 RBIs with his triple.
Yes.
And Pizzini's on deck. Right-handed batting, Alex Reich. And he drives one deep to left field. Left fielder's going to go back, camp under it, and he'll make the catch. And he gets it back in quickly. Moore is able to keep the runners from advancing by making that play, about 10 feet or so in front of the fence out in left field.
The runners cannot advance on the play. Moore's pretty fast out there. It's going to be hard to get too much by him unless you hit it on the line. The ball was hit pretty hard, but just happened to be right at him.
Alex Reich was out, and now Alec Pizzini comes to bat. 1 out now, runners on first and second for Edwardsville, and a called strike 1 to Pizzini. Struck out in the first inning, tripled in 2 in the 4th. That gave Edwardsville the lead. They were able to add to it. Now it's a 4-1 advantage. Off-speed pitch misses high. Ball 1 to Pizzini. 1-1 the count. Ben Baldridge, the pitcher for the Alton Redbirds, following Kress and Miles to the mound. Here's a strike 2 called. Checking his swing was Pizzini, but it was a called strike. 1-2 the count to Pizzini with Bryant on deck. Runner on second takes his lead, pitches outside for a ball, counts even at 2-2. We're in the top half of the fifth inning. The Edwardsville Tigers with a 4-1 lead on the Alton Redbirds. Southwestern Conference action here. Ground ball through the infield. It's going to roll into center field. The runner from second is waved home. The relay throw is not made, and Edwardsville has their 6th run of the game as Curtis scores from second. Page goes all the way to third. 5th run of the game, I should say. Page advances to third on the single by Pizzini.
Well, Curtis had to wait. That ball was line drive. Going back towards second there, wanted to see if Stiltz was going to be able to make the catch. So he had to kind of freeze a little bit, but the ball hit into right center. He was able to recover and able to score. Good job of picking it up by Page, getting all the way over to third base. And Pizzini now with 3 RBIs in the last 2 innings here.
And he stands on first base. As you mentioned, Page is able to advance to third. And with Page at third base, runners on the corners, Edwardsville's got an opportunity here to maybe do some running. Haven't seen a stolen base in this game. Here's an off-speed pitch, misses inside as the batter turns away from it. Bryan had that ball aimed right at his shoulder, but it was a breaking pitch that just missed inside ball 1. Bryan has singled in this game, and he's also lined out to the first baseman. Just misses one here, actually gets a piece of it for strike 1. Hillsman on deck, just 1 out here in the 5th inning. 5 runs are in now for the Edwardsville Tigers. Scored 4 last inning, and they've scored 1 here. Still 2 runners on, just 1 out. And they fake the throw to first. No throw, or fake the throw to third, and then no throw back over to first. First baseman Matthews is holding on the runner, trying to keep him close to try to keep from having him reach second on a straight steal. Checking the runners, Baldridge, ground ball foul down the third base line. Devin Bryan, right-handed batter, looks down to the coach's box for the sign. Alton's got another pitcher warming up down the left field line. And another throw over to first. Getting back easily that time was Pizzini. Yeah, Pizzini's had a couple of good innings. After striking out his first time up, back-to-back hits with 3 RBI, triple and a single. Runner is going, ground ball off the glove of the third baseman. It was a line drive, and he's late with the throw to first. Hard hit ball, the third baseman reaching for it, has it glance off his glove, and it could have been a double play. Instead, it's going to load the bases. If he could have caught that cleanly, he would have had the runner off first base and would have been an easy double play to end the inning, but now the bases are loaded. He could have caught it.
Could have caught it, but boy, that's hard to get. That ball was scolded.
You're going to call it a single.
I give errors when they deserve them, trust me.
The runner on third has to stay there. The runner from first goes to second. Now a line drive down the third base line, foul. Strike 1 to the batter, Matthew Hillsman. Bases are loaded. Boy, that could have been out of the inning for Alton if he could have made that catch. It was a line drive. I mentioned it was a ground ball. It was a line drive, hard hit. Went off his glove. If he could have squeezed it, he would have had the runner off first because he was off with the pitch. And now we've got another visit to the mound by the Alton manager, and he's going to take the ball from Baldridge, and this is going to be another pitching change for the Alton Redbirds. Got a strike on the batter, and he makes the pitching change.
It's a pretty hard strike, though. Ball was hit hard.
It was. It was a line drive down the third base line. It wasn't like it was a called strike. In the scorebook, it looks like it's a called strike, but it was actually a hard hit ball foul. And we've got another pitcher for Alton. Did you get the number?
Charlie Howard, number 15.
Charlie Howard, the new pitcher for the Alton Redbirds. There's another pitching change, so we're going to have to take another quick break. We're going to send it back to the studios. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.onestmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
I'll grab the birthday cake, you bring the gift, if you're sure she's ready.
She's 16, honey, and she's earned a set of keys.
She's studied and practiced, I know, but it's a big responsibility.
When you have a teen driver, it's good to know that Madison Mutual has the insurance coverage you need.
She's ready, and so are we. I talked to our Madison Mutual agent.
Call Barry Macias, your local independent insurance agent, at 467-2874.
The more life changes, the more you need Madison Mutual.
Loading the bases, there is one strike to the batter, and that batter is Matthew Hilsman. So the runners will take their leads.
Number 15, Charlie Howard.
Off first, off second, and off third. Don't see it too often where there's a pitching change made after a strike is thrown to the batter. But that's exactly what Todd Haug has done here, making the pitching change, sensing that this is a key part of the game, bringing in Charlie Howard to try to get out of this inning. Diminutive pitcher.
Well, you maybe get a ground ball pitcher too, and you get a double play ball, and you can get out of the inning here because you really need to hold this right where it's at.
He gets a first pitch strike, and it's actually strike 2 to the batter Hilsman.
If they record the out goes to,
I don't know,
the previous pitcher.
The previous pitcher. So that is a strikeout credited because Hilsman watched it for strike 3. So you're going to give that strikeout that Mr. Howard earns right there.
No, actually, he gets the strikeout.
Okay.
He gets the strikeout.
I said, boy, he did his darndest there, getting 2 quick strikes. And another off-speed pitch here is in for a strike. So I think I've already found out the difference between these two pitchers.
Off-speed stuff.
Off-speed stuff. Charlie Howard likes to use,
like our starter.
Use the curveball, yes. And a swing and a miss, strike 2 to the 9th place hitter Hanks. That was a key move of this game. If Alton can make a comeback for Coach Haug to...
And you're questioning his move.
Well, he had 1 out of the inning, bases loaded, and a first pitch strike to the batter. And now a swinging strike. The ball's in the dirt. All he has to do is step on home, and that's exactly what he does. Instead of trying to throw to first base, Gibbs, all he had to do was step on home plate with the swinging strikeout by Jake Hanks. So 2 strikeouts from the relief pitcher Charlie Howard, and Alton is out of the inning, but not before Edwardsville scores a run. They score 1 run on 3 hits in the inning, and they leave the bases loaded. The lead, Edwardsville 5, Alton nothing. We're going to go to the bottom half of the 5th. Alton has 1 run, 5-1 the score. We'll be going to the bottom half of the 5th. After these, you're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
When you own a business, your loss could be your employee's loss too. That's why you should put American Family Insurance and me to work right away. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. I can help you design property and liability coverages that fit the needs of your specific business. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Alton's got some work to do. They find themselves trailing the Edwardsville Tigers 5-1. Edwardsville has scored 5 straight runs in the last 2 innings after Alton scored in the first. Leading off for the Alton Redbirds, number 14. The batter for Alton is, try to get number 14, Tanner Miles. So Miles was a relief pitcher. Now he's going to stay in the game. Batting in the order where Stilts had batted. And Miles is, or check that. That is not 14, that is 19. So I was right. Stilts is still the batter.
Thanks for confusing me there, Craig.
And Stilts is going to ground a hit. What a way to lead off the inning for Alton with a single. That's just what they wanted to do. Probably just what Edwardsville was hoping not to happen. Boyd still pitching for the Tigers.
Just the 3rd hit of the game for the Redbirds, and a leadoff hit, just what the doctor ordered.
So that brings up the ninth place hitter. Well, the ninth place hitter was due up. Now it's number 22 batting for Alton, and that is Jordan Bodenbach.
Number 22, Jordan Bodenbach.
Bodenbach bats for the ninth place batter, Edwards.
It's actually hitting, that's the pitcher's spot there. Edwards is
Okay,
out of the game.
Edwardsville left the game, right. And we get a called strike one to Bodenbach.
So he's hitting for Howard here.
The pitcher, Boyd, from the stretch, checks the runner and jams him. It's going to
Look at
squirt two for a base hit. That ball bounced about 10 times and was able to get out of the reach of the second baseman, and Bodenbach's on with what will be, in his scorebook, a hard line drive to right field, but in reality, the ball just barely rolled into the grass into short right field, and now the first two are on for Alton.
Never seen a jam shot like that be able to carry that far. Boy, that's, man.
He was in on his hands, and he fought it off, and it just got past the second baseman, ranging over towards first. So the first two have reached, and Wisnowski, top of the order, up for the Alton Redbirds. He swings and misses. Ball gets away from the catcher, and the pitcher will actually run this ball down as it rolls halfway between home and first, and the runners advance on the wild pitch.
That ball broke about 50 feet there.
Wisnowski swung on the play, but it was still the catcher not able to get it. Runners on second and third now in a 5-1 Edwardsville lead. Alton batter Wisnowski grounds it foul down the third base line.
Well, you'd like to get something back here and give yourself a shot, and they're playing even. Actually, they're playing normal depth. They're going to concede the run for the out.
Wisnowski in the hole now, 0-2, with Boyd on the mound, checking the runners from the stretch. Delivers, and it's swing and a miss, strike three. And the first out is recorded here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Sturgeon coming to bat. Spurgeon on the game. Walked and scored in the first. He struck out swinging in the third.
Boy, that was a nasty curveball there on 0-2. Good location, too. Don't want to get too much of the plate, and he certainly didn't. Ran it away from the right-handed batter. Huge first out to get for Boyd, and a good timing for a strikeout.
Yeah, Wisnowski being in the hole, he had to really protect the plate. He had to swing at anything close, and that breaking ball started in the middle of the plate and ended far outside. Here's a ball in the dirt. Catcher was able to get the ball and actually throw down the third base. You saw that play by the runner on third, where you take your lead off in foul territory. When you retreat to the bag, you come back down the line hoping that the ball will hit you and have that ball deadened instead of the third baseman actually able to field it. Pitch high out of the strike zone. Ball two to Spurgeon.
No activity down the right field.
No,
bullpen.
The Edwardsville bullpen is quiet, and there's still another pitcher throwing for Alton as that pinch hitter batting in the pitcher spot. Pitch from Boyd, driving into right field, single, clean, into right field. One run is in, and the runner from second has to hold at third. As I'm not sure if he got a good jump. That ball was hit sharply into right field. Right fielder coming up throwing. The throw home was a pretty good one. One run in, and like you said, you don't want to make an out at home plate at any time, and especially when there's just one out in the inning. Spurgeon with an RBI single, the third hit of the inning for Alton, and one run is in.
And not when you've got three, four, five hitters coming up either. So now Moore represents the tying run.
Lawrence Moore singled his first time up. Fake throw to third. Both runners get back safely. Runners on the corners with Moore, the third place hitter, up. Javon Boyd on the mound for Edwardsville here in this bottom of the fifth inning. Moore drives one into right field, right at the right fielder. His throw home
can't go.
Is cut off, and
Couldn't
the runner has to stay at third.
That's unfortunate because the ball was hit on the line, but the problem is there, the first step that Bodenbach takes, or actually that is Bodenbach. He takes towards home. He's got to retreat to the bag, and all his momentum is carrying him towards back to third base. He's got no jump to get home there. And the right fielder on the play there, he's running in on the play, Page, so
yeah,
he's got all the momentum going his way.
And he hit the cutoff man perfectly. If the ball would have gotten away, maybe the run could have tried to score. Now it's 2 outs, runners on the corners. And now the ball does get away from the catcher, but the runner from third can't advance. The runner from first takes second. So Spurgeon gets down to second base in scoring position.
That takes the force play away now, so.
And we do have Brent Gibbs. He is the cleanup batter for Alton. Now we're going to get a visit from Mike Waldo, pitching coach for Edwardsville. He's going to come out and talk to his hurler. This is the first of what will be 2 broadcasts on Z1570. Have to hold on before his game actually gets started. Runners on second and third will take their lead with the pitch from Boyd here. 1 ball to the batter. And a drive up the middle. 1 run will score. The runner from second is being waved home. He rounds third and scores, and the throw to second base, and he's out. Trying to take second base. Brent Gibbs is out at second, but both runs score, and the Alton Redbirds have cut into the Edwardsville lead. 3 runs are in here in this inning to make it a 5-4 game. 5-4 the score. We've played 5. In that inning, the Alton Redbirds have 3 hits, actually 4 hits, and they do not leave any runners on base. No errors in the inning. Alton gets within 1.
Why should you bring your vehicle to Quick Lane at Roberts Motors? You never need an appointment, just drive on in. Quick Lane has the guaranteed lowest tire prices around. Plus, we perform a multi-point inspection of the critical items on your vehicle at no charge every time you visit. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or any other make, Quick Lane can service it. We're even open on Saturdays. Stop by Quick Lane at Roberts Motors today. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane.
We go to the top of the 6th inning. And coming to bat for the Edwardsville Tigers will be the top of the order. Heckler, Graham, and Curtis due up for Edwardsville. They still lead, but the lead has been shaved to just 1. 5-4 the score. Alton and Edwardsville in a Southwestern Conference game.
You're behind. We've got another pitcher.
Oh, we do.
Jeremiah Forbes, number 17.
So it's this, is that the 5th pitcher of the day? Is that right?
That's correct.
Forbes is the pitcher, and according to my stats, this is his 7th appearance on the season. He's pitched 12 innings prior to today. Here's a bunt on the first pitch to Heckler. Throw from the third baseman is in time to get him at first. Spurgeon comes on to field it cleanly and throw out the leadoff man Heckler on a bunt attempt.
If you think about it, Edwardsville left the bases loaded in the 5th inning. You wonder if that's going to come back and get them now.
Yeah, they scored 1 run in that 5th inning. The leadoff man would come around to score. But like you said, they left the bases loaded. And now here in this, that was the 2nd time this game they left the bases loaded. Here's a ground ball, easy for the second baseman. Stilts throws across for the 2nd out of the inning. So first pitch swinging to the first 2 batters.
2 pitches, 2 outs, and rule of thumb, you take a pitch here no matter what.
Drew Curtis is the batter.
And now we got some activity in that bullpen down there, Edwardsville.
Curtis today has struck out twice. He's also doubled and scored. And he takes the first pitch. You're right. Jeremiah Forbes misses outside for a ball.
Devin Bryan warming up down in the right field bullpen. He's our first baseman.
Ball misses outside. Ball 2 to Curtis. On deck is Derek Page. And Page has been on base twice in this game, but he's only got 1 official at bat. Here's a called strike on the outside corner to Curtis. 2 on the count. Edwardsville and Alton playing a close one. Last time these two teams played in late March, it was an Alton 9-3 win in Edwardsville. It's 5-4 Tigers over the Redbirds right now. 3-1 the count as Curtis misses outside. Or Forbes misses outside to Curtis.
Just keep thinking of the list that you're on, the Forbes list, right?
Right. Here's a swing and a strike. Strike 2 to Jeremiah Forbes. Yes.
You're in the top 100, right?
Might be 100 million. Drew Curtis with the count full, 2 outs, and Forbes on the hill, looking in for the sign from Gibbs. Here's the pitch, just inside for ball 4. Curtis reaches on a walk. And that brings in Derek Page.
He doesn't have a hit, but he's reached bases the last 2 times.
Yeah, he was hit by the pitch, came around and scored in the 4th. Last inning, he reached on a walk and was stranded at 3rd.
And another pitcher warming up for Alton. Imagine that.
A lot of pitching changes in this one.
It's good to have arms.
Curtis leads off first, pitches high to Page. Both of these teams with double-digit total victories on the year. Edwardsville 17 wins coming into today. Alton with 15. Identical records in the conference, 6-2. Pitches low. And that should be ball 2 to Page, 2-0. 5-4 ball game. Edwardsville's got a runner on with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Page, the batter. Forbes delivers. The pitch is grounded to short. He'll have to throw on to first, and it's too late. He thought about throwing it to second base, and when he decided to go to first, it was too late on a ball that was not hit that sharply.
Well, once it gets past the third baseman, it's a hard play to make, and there was no play to make at second base. You had to go across the diamond to try to get that one, and Page hustling it out all the way gets himself an infield single.
So 2 runners are on, and that brings up Alex Reish. Reish does have a double in this game. Runners on first and second now with 2 outs as Page legs out an infield single. Batting from the right side and watching ball 1 miss inside is Alex Reish. 2 outs in the inning. The pitcher is now Jeremiah Forbes. We've seen Kress, we've seen Miles, we've seen Howard, and now Forbes for Alton. Pitch called strike on the outside corner to Reish, 1-1.
Edwardsville would love to get that on-deck batter up there, wouldn't they?
He's had a good game.
Pizzini, absolutely.
Here's a fly ball to left field. Moore is over and makes the catch in left center. So a ball hit crisply into left center field, but Moore's able to range over and retire the batter. 1 base hit in the inning, 2 runners left on.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Edwardsville has stranded 9 runners in this game, Louis. They've stranded the bases loaded twice, and 2 were left on in that last inning. In this close ball game, those stranded runners can come back to haunt you.
Yeah, especially in a 1-run game, which we have here now, and Alton's going to send up 5, 6, and 7 here in the batting order.
Matthews, Moxie, and Kress due up. First pitch called strike to Shane Matthews. Javon Boyd still on the hill for Edwardsville. Second pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1 the count. Alton pushed across 3 last inning. 2 RBI single by Brent Gibbs. He was thrown out trying to take second. That was the big hit of the inning. Outside for ball 2 from Boyd. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alton led early 1-0. Edwardsville came back, scored 4 runs, added another, led 5-1. Now it's 5-4. Ball 3 to Matthews, leadoff man here in the 6th inning.
I don't know how big Boyd's leash is going to be here in this 6th inning. They had, obviously, the first baseman, Brian, warming up.
Yeah, he's not still warming up. He's there playing first base. So Brian, I'm
sorry.
Whether you can bring him into the game, figuring that he's had enough warm-up pitches in the bullpen, we'll see. Boyd with a full count to Matthews, and the pitch is swung on and fouled. Count remains 3-2.
Now, you don't want to walk the tying run on base either.
Edwardsville has scored 5 runs on 8 hits. Is that what it says on the scoreboard?
Correct.
I had him at 9 hits, I think. Must have missed one somewhere.
There's 9.
I think I had 9. Alton, meanwhile, 4 runs on 5 hits. Another foul tip by Matthews.
Alton has 6 hits, actually.
Okay. Batting from the left side, Matthews. 3-2 pitch from Boyd, and he watches ball 4, miss outside. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first walk since the first inning.
You are right.
Issued to Alton. Spurgeon walked and scored in the first. Now we're going to get Zach Moxie coming to the plate, the designated hitter, with a runner on first. Moxie is struck out. He's flied out to the right fielder. On deck is Clint Kress. He's also hitless on the game. Boyd looks in for the sign. We get a timeout from the umpire. That's an opportunity for Moxie to step out and look down the third base coach's box. Leadoff man Matthews reaches on a walk, takes his lead at first. Pitch bunted towards third base. It's going to go foul. And that's strike 1 to Moxie.
They're going to try to move that tying run into scoring position.
With the bunt attempt, he has himself in the hole, 0-1. Looks down for those signs from his coach again. He might be bunting again. The third baseman will stand on the grass. First baseman holds the runner. Boyd throws over to first, and the runner Matthews gets back easily. The pitcher, Boyd, looks in for the sign from his catcher, Pizzini. Boyd checks the runner, peeking over the shoulder, and throws over to first. I've seen more pickoff plays in this game today than I've seen all season long in the games I've watched.
Welcome to Edwardsville baseball.
Runner on first.
Breaking you in kindly.
Matthews takes his lead. Another bunt attempt. This one's going to stay fair. Pizzini's going to throw him out at first, but he advances the runner. Matthews takes second base. Moxie is retired with the catcher firing down to first base.
Nice job of deadening the ball in the grass, moving the runner up, and Kress have a chance here.
Kress is hitless on the day. He's got an opportunity here. He started this game as a pitcher, and he would like nothing better than to help out some of his relievers with a big RBI here that would tie the game. Stands in from the left side, runner in scoring position. Matthews takes his lead at second with 1 out. And Kress watches a ball miss low. Austin Stilts on deck. And now we're going to get a visit from the Edwardsville pitching coach. Tim Waldo checks with the umpire before he makes the visit to the mound. Not sure if there's going to be a change or not, but he made a detour instead of going straight to the pitcher's mound.
No, Mike Waldo's usually not the guy that's going to make those changes there. I think he's talking to him, maybe asking him where that last pitch was.
Oh. Might be talking strategy, whether or not to think about putting Kress on, because we're starting to get to the bottom of the order with Stilts, the 8th place hitter, on deck. There is 1 out, and with a batter like Kress, who on the year came into this game hitting over 400, but he's hitless today. Stands in from the left side and will be advantage batter if he should maybe try to bunt this runner on and maybe leg out a bunt of his own. Here's a swing and a miss. Counts even at 1-1 to Kress. With one out, would you try bunting him to third?
No.
Plays. Signs being flashed by the third base coach. Boyd checks the runner on second. Now he spins and fakes a throw into second. Leadoff man here in the 6th inning, Matthews reached on a walk. He was bunted over by Moxie. And now Kress stands in with a count at 1-1. It's a one-run ball game. Edwardsville leads Alton 5-4. Boyd on the mound. Misses outside for a ball. Javon Boyd started this game for Alton. They're 5 pitchers in. They've got some guys sitting on a bench down in the bullpen. Edwardsville's bullpen is empty. Boyd looks in for the sign. Kress from the left side of the batter's box. Swings that bat behind his head. And Boyd delivers. Watches a ball miss outside. Ball 3. 3-1 count now. And that means the pitcher's got to come to him. And Kress has got to be looking for something to hit. Runner on second, if he would score, would tie the game. Matthews looking for a good jump if this ball gets to the outfield. Kress calls timeout. You figure this ball game would have a lot of gamesmanship with this rivalry game, conference standings coming into play. Boyd delivers low. And that's going to be another walk, the second of the inning, and Kress reaches first. Maybe Waldo was telling his pitcher to be careful with this guy and don't give him anything good. It's okay if you walk him because it would set up a double play.
Well, here you got 8 and 9 now, and they each singled and scored in the last inning. So now the tying run at second, the go-ahead run on at first.
Yeah, you don't like to walk the go-ahead run, but if it sets up the double play, it's not unheard of.
You don't like to walk any run.
Stilts is the 8th place batter, but he singled last time up. He would come around to score in that 3-run 5th. Swings and misses here, fouls it back to the backstop. Stilts, and then what we assume is the pitcher's spot again.
You're correct.
And that means Jeremiah Forbes' day might be over with.
Well, Ray Bailey is in the on-deck circle.
Bailey's one of the pitchers that Alton uses, but he probably won't be coming in to throw. But he may come in to hit. Another fake pickoff, this one to second base. Runner gets back easily. Matthews on at second, Kress at first. Boyd looks in for the sign from Pizzini. At the plate, it's Stilts. Here's the pitch, and it's called strike 2.
Wow.
So the catcher have to reach across his body to make that catch, and usually that would indicate that it misses outside. But he caught the corner. 1 out in the inning, 2 strikes to the batter.
What did he catch it with, an anchor?
Boyd delivers. Ground ball to the shortstop.
There's your double
Tosses
play
to
ball.
second, on to first, and it is in time. The 6-4-3 double play gets Edwardsville out of the inning, and Alton strands a runner. Had 2 men on with a 1 out and an inning-ending double play from Austin Stilts, and Edwardsville will go to the top of the 7th, leading Alton 5-4. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer more than savings accounts, checking accounts, money markets, loans, and IRAs. They also offer a Visa Platinum Card, which rewards their members with low rates, no annual fees, no hidden fees, no balance transfer fees, built-in safety features to protect your card from fraud, and a reward program which rewards you for every purchase you make. Apply today for a First Mid-America Credit Union Visa Platinum Card at www.1stmidamerica.org.
5-4. Pizzini, Bryan, and Hillsman due up this inning for the Tigers. Alton had 2 runners on, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Couldn't push across a run. 1-run lead for the Tigers as we go to the 7th. And it will remain Forbes on the mound. Forbes will stay in there. His place in the batting order never did come around. So Jeremiah Forbes starts the inning for Alton.
So the double play ball kept him in the game.
That's right. And he was effective. He struck out the last two batters of that fifth inning to get out of a bases-loaded jam. First two pitches are balls to Alec Pizzini. Pizzini with a good game. Triple and a single, 3 RBI. 3 balls to Pizzini, 3-0 count. Here's Forbes trying to find the strike zone. 3-0 pitch, misses high. And after striking out the last two batters in the 6th inning to get out of that inning, or that was back in the 5th, I should say. What happened last inning? Oh, he got the last out. But Pizzini leads off with a walk here.
Well, you'd like to add some insurance here if you're Edwardsville, but then on the flip side, if you're Alton, you want to keep it here. You don't want to be looking at a bigger deficit if you don't have to.
Devin Bryan at the plate. You wonder if he gets retired here, would he trot down to the bullpen? They've already got 2 pitchers throwing down at the Edwardsville bullpen, but Bryan was one of them that was warming up earlier. Edwardsville beats Alton in softball today, 6-2 the final. We've got softball coming up after this one. It's Marquette versus Southwestern. Stay tuned. Here's a rip ball down, foul down the third base line, as Bryan got ahead of that one and ripped it foul.
Alton is going to play here again after this game. They're going to host Southwestern.
Yeah, it's a doubleheader day. Alton's got a couple of those on their schedule. I believe they've got another one in the next week or so, where they play 2 different teams on the same weekday. Here's a pitch, just misses for ball 2 to Bryan. 2-1 count to Devin Bryan. Pizzini reaches on a walk. He'll take his lead off first. Bryan at the plate. Forbes checks the runner. Fake bunt, called strike. And the count's even at 2-2. Another one of those balls on the outside corner. These umpires, they
can't win.
The umpires, they always set up on the inside part of the plate. And a lot of times that ball that gets the outside corner, you know, they're not looking at it straight on because they set up so far inside. And they catch the runner off first on a pickoff. They throw down to second wild. The runner will reach, and that's going to be an error on the first baseman that allows the runner to get to second base. They had him picked off, and the throw over to first base, and Matthews threw it towards second, tried to get it to a shortstop, and instead of throwing at the base for Holiday, he kind of threw where Holiday was, and it was wide to the shortstop side, and it sails into left field.
We'll see if that plays into effect here.
So a walk and an error by the first baseman. Not only is it an error that sends the runner to second, but he was picked off and he should have been out. So a runner at second with nobody out. And the count is full to Bryan. Here's a ball in the hole that gets through to left field. And the throw will come into the infield. The runner will advance to third, but that's all he could get. Bryan had to wait for that ball to go through, or Pizzini, I should say. And Bryan reaches first on his 3rd single of the day.
Here comes Todd Hogg. Boy, he's wore out a path to that mound, hadn't he?
He's on his 5th pitcher right now, and he's got one warming up that I assume is going to be coming into the game as Hogg makes the trip to the mound. Jeremiah Forbes walked the leadoff man here in the top of the 7th. And then Bryan comes in and singles him to third. And now Hillsman will come to bat as we have a pitching change. We'll talk about the pitching change made by Alton after we take another short break. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports. have to keep reiterating, Alton's got another game they have to play, and this is their 6th pitcher they've used in this game.
Well, that's why they're all getting some work in here, because they'll all probably get some work in the next game as well.
Well, some of the pitchers, we assume that Ray Bailey will probably start the 2nd game, but it's a possibility Nick Drosty could see some pitching. And don't be confused here. Alton is a team that is, got 15 wins on the season, and they're playing a Southwestern team that my record has them at 8-10. So under 500, smaller school. So you probably don't need the pitching depth. So Alton's going all out to try to win this one. And any coach will tell you, you don't worry about the next one. You're worrying about the one you're playing right now.
Well, this is the one you want to win. And they're going to try to cut this run down, because you don't want to fall behind by 2 runs here or more. You want to keep this at 5-4. I know it's going to be a tall order trying to get out of a 1st and 3rd nobody out situation here, but now you got all the infielders playing in. Good opportunity here now. You got the bottom 2 in the order for the Edwardsville lineup here, Hulsman and Hanks, and then you try to get it back up to Heckler and keep going from there.
What you want out of your pitcher here is either to get a strikeout if you can, get ahead most importantly, and if they put the bunt play on, hope that it's right back at the pitcher. It's a swing and a miss on strike on the first pitch to Hulsman. No indication that Edwardsville was going to try and bunt and squeeze a run in here. Haven't seen any straight steals hardly in this game, and you wonder if this is the time when that runner on first will take off. They got a pickoff play at first. Getting back easily was Bryan. No, actually, they got a pinch runner over there for Bryan. I'm not sure who the... And a ball fouled straight back to the fence is strike 2 to the batter, Hulsman. Macrico is how you pronounce that name. That was the one name on the roster that I was hoping that wouldn't get in the game for Edwardsville. He's the pinch runner, and he's going to take second base as, I don't know if you call that fielder's indifference there.
I hate that. That is the dumb, that is...
You're going to give him a stolen base, aren't you?
Dumbest thing I've ever in baseball.
Stolen base by the pinch runner.
Of course it's a stolen base.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't even try. So now the runner's on 2nd and 3rd.
And is that the runner's fault?
No. No, I guess you shouldn't penalize the runner. Takes the double play out of order. Infielders take a couple of steps back. They're still wanting to get the play at the plate. And here's a called strike 3 to Hulsman. And that's the best case scenario for the Alton Redbirds.
Huge.
To get the batter out on strikes and record the first out of the inning. Now you probably wish you still had a double play in order, but you've still got the bottom of the order coming up, a man who's hit into a double play and struck out twice.
And that's why I say that's not a fielder's indifference. He stole the base, took the double play out of order. This is a 5-4 game.
Runners on 2nd and 3rd take their lead with the pitch by the left-hander for Alton, Brad Henry. With these infielders playing in, especially the shortstop, the runner on second base can take a huge lead, and if this ball gets into the outfield at all, he's going to score easily. The pitch from Henry, swung on and driven into right field. It's going to bounce in front of the outfielder, and here come both runners. Now they're going to hold one of them, and he was right on the heels.
Yeah, he was.
And he skids to a stop between 3rd and home and retreats back to 3rd. I think he would have scored, but Bryan, the pinch runner, will go back to 3rd base, and that's where he will be. But one run is in. That's an insurance run, a big insurance run for the Edwardsville Tigers.
Huge.
As Hanks drives in the run. He had struck out twice, hit into a double play, but a big RBI single here in the top of the 7th.
I think Tim Funkhauser was 2/3 of the way down the line. He was going to grab his pinch runner there and haul him back to 3rd base if he had to.
So now runners at 1st and 3rd with one out. And we go to the top of the order. Jordan Heckler standing in. The pitch misses for a ball. Outside and high. Macrico, he was almost 3/4 of the way between 3rd and home, and he skids to a stop and retreats back to 3rd.
Could have piggybacked home.
Yeah, he was within a couple of strides of the man in front of him. Here's a fly ball towards right field. That could get, no, it's right into the glove of the right fielder, but it's going to score a run as the pitch runner Macrico scores easily from third base on a sacrifice RBI fly ball out by Jordan Heckler.
Well, that's what you wanted there at the very least from Heckler. He gets the job done. Gets the RBI on the sac fly and brings in a huge run there. Getting a 2-run lead was big, but getting that extra one there too, that plays a big role here going into the bottom of the 7th inning, even if you don't get anything else here.
They had stranded 9 runners for the first 6 innings. Now they push across a couple here in the 7th. 1 runner on, and that is Hanks leading off first base with 2 outs now. Blake Graham stepping in. Graham reached on a walk his first time up, but he's been retired the last 3 ground outs to the second baseman his last 2 at-bats.
Those 2 runs are charged to Forbes.
The 5th pitcher of the day. We're now on the 6th pitcher, the lefty for Alton, Brad Henry. Henry on the mound, checks the runner with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Pitch is in the dirt, gets back to the backstop, and the runner will advance. Hanks will take second base on the wild pitch. And now he's there at second with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Blake Graham stands in from the left side. Counts 2-0 to Graham. Brad Henry on the mound for the Redbirds. Misses there, ball 3. Alton plays Southwestern after this one, not broadcast on the Z1570. But we do have softball coming up, Southwestern and Marquette. Stay tuned. Here's a pitch, just misses low, and the batter is on. Graham gets his second walk of the game. So runners will be at first and second with Drew Curtis coming to bat. First 2 batters reached here in the 7th. They've both come around to score as Edwardsville has added to their 5-4 lead. It's now 6-4. 7-4.
I'll let you correct yourself.
It's 7-4. That's what you're here for, Louie, to correct my misstatements.
I'm not paying attention either, so.
First pitch ball to Curtis. Checking the runner. Henry delivers, misses the strike zone again. 2-0 count to Drew Curtis. Curtis in this game struck out first 2 times up, then he doubled and scored in the 5th. He walked and was stranded in the 6th inning. Runners on first and second, and the pitch misses inside, ball 3. Walked Graham on 4 straight. Now he's thrown 3 straight balls.
I got a feeling this won't be the last pitcher we see today.
There's 2 outs here in the 7th. If he gets this guy, Alton will have to score 3 times in the bottom half of the inning to force extra frames. There is a pitcher warming up down that left field line for the Redbirds. Brad Henry looks in, tries to find the strike zone here after 7 straight out of the strike zone, and here's a strike called to Curtis. 3-1 count. Alton had the early lead 1-0, and then Edwardsville came back and scored 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and now 2 here in the 7th. Ball 4 outside, 2 straight walks issued by Henry. And that's the 3rd walk of the inning and another trip from the dugout for manager Todd Haug. 2 runs are in. There's been 3 walks issued this inning, and there's also been 2 hits in the inning. Derek Page is due up. We haven't seen the pitching change yet. Haug is talking with his hurler, and he's not made a move as of yet. Looks like he's not going to make a move either. Just some words of encouragement to his pitcher here who's trying to get out of this 7th inning.
I don't know about all that. And maybe some of it may have to do with, son, you got to start throwing some strikes here. Free passes just eat a coach up more than anything. And
Brad Henry coming into this game, I don't have his base on balls, but now he will make the pitching change. So not only did he have some words for this pitcher, but he's still going to allow a couple more warm-up pitches for the next Alton hurler. Can you see that number, Louis?
Low-hanging branches, loose limbs, storm damage? Don't risk climbing up that shaky ladder. Let Alton Tree Service do it for you. Fully insured with over 11 years of experience, protecting your home and family is what we do best. From trimming to complete removal, there is no tree we can't handle. Contact Alton Tree Service today for a free, no-obligation estimate at 618-977-1413.
Kress was the designated hitter. I'm not sure what happens. What happens when he comes in to pitch now? Does that change the batting order any?
Eliminates the DH.
It eliminates the DH, but Moxie, if he comes around to bat, wouldn't really matter since he's the pitcher of record.
Yeah.
So he's ready. Tells the umpire he's ready to go. Corner outfielders who had conferenced around their center fielder going to trot back there to their positions. Infielders resume their playing depth. They'll play deep here with 2 outs. And the catcher, Gibbs, gives some final words of encouragement to Moxie. With number 18, Derek Page, stepping in. 2 runners are in here in the 7th inning, as Edwardsville has added on a couple of insurance runs, and they lead 7-4. 3-run lead with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Moxie's pitch misses outside. Ball 1. 2 walks issued by Brad Henry. And those are the runners on first and second. Graham takes his lead off second. Curtis off first. Ball 2 to Page. So Moxie can't find the strike zone. If you're an Edwardsville batter, do you make him throw a strike? Of course.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
They're going to hold that bat on their shoulder until they find a strike zone. Moxie on the mound. Delivers, and he gets a called strike on the outside corner. 2-1 count to Derek Page. Zach Moxie, right-handed hurler, comes to the stretch position. Fires, popped up. It will play for the shortstop. Holiday on the edge of the grass makes the catch, and that ends the 7th inning. The Alton Redbirds score twice. They have 2 hits in the inning, and they leave 2 on. The Edwardsville Tigers, not the Alton Redbirds, have extended their lead to 7-4. Alton coming to bat in the bottom of the 7th. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
From its birth in 1931 on Broadway in Alton to its new home on Homer Adams Parkway, welcome to Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings. Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings earned its outstanding customer service reputation in servicing major appliance brands such as Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, Samsung, and more. When you think about it, Alton Refrigeration is about providing you with years of comfortable living with worry-free brand name products.
Welcome back to Lloyd Hopkins Field at Gordon Moore Park. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. The Alton Redbirds, their last chance to try and tie and force extra innings, or come from behind and win in a walk-off game versus Edwardsville and try to sweep the season series. Edwardsville in position to split the season series after Alton won the first game between these 2 teams back in late March. Well, the book is closed on Javon Boyd. We've got a new man on the mound for the Redbirds.
Brian's going to come in from first base to try to close this thing out after Boyd gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts in the game, and I believe he hit a batter too, didn't he?
There was 1 hit by pitch in the game, and that was an Alton player.
So he hit no one?
No. Coming to bat here for Alton will be the 9th spot in the order, and that's number 25. Bailey getting the at bat. Ray Bailey, he may be the starter in the next game. We'll see. He's going to watch a called strike from Devin Bryant. Bryan on the season, making his 9th appearance. He's got 1 save. And he starts off here with 2 straight strikes to the 9th place batter, pinch hitter.
Throws it hard.
For Alton is Bailey. And he misses outside for ball.
Pretty sharp curveball there.
Got ahead. That's what you want out of a pitcher, especially a relief pitcher. Coming in, throwing strikes. And Bailey, does he check his swing? No. They rule it a strike, whether it was a called strike or a swinging strike. I think they're going to say he was swinging, and it's a strikeout to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning as Bailey goes down swinging.
Yeah, he snapped the kneecaps off on that pitch there. That was one of those where you're guessing for one thing and you're completely baffled by another.
Devin Bryan has made 1 start on the season. He's pitched 23 innings, and as I mentioned, he does have the 1 save on the year as he makes his 9th appearance on the mound. And he throws ball 1 to the leadoff man, Wisnowski. Now he evens the count at 1-1, called strike. Niles Spurgeon on deck for the Redbirds. The pitch from Bryan misses high, ball 2. Edwardsville fans don't like that, just below us. 2-1 count to Wisnowski. And another ball inside, ball 3. Alton Redbirds took the 1-0 lead, but they lost it in an Edwardsville 4-1 fourth. They've been trailing ever since. They were within a run at 5-4. Now they trail 7-4. A couple of insurance runs, top half of this inning. Called strike 2 to Wisnowski. He's watched 5 straight pitches here, and the count is full, 3-2. Yet to take his bat off his shoulder. Devin Bryan delivers. Ground ball up the middle and through for a hit. Wisnowski reaches base with 1 out here in the 7th inning. So Wisnowski reaches base for the first time today. He had grounded out twice and he had struck out in his first 3 plate appearances. And that brings in Niles Spurgeon. Spurgeon's got an RBI single and he's also scored twice in this game. Wisnowski takes his lead off first. Bryan looks in for the sign. Pizzini is the catcher from the stretch position. The pitch from Bryan is a called strike 1. 1 out in the inning. Runner on first, Wisnowski will take his lead. Edwardsville would like a game-ending double play. Step off by the pitcher. Stay with us. We've got softball coming up on this baseball softball doubleheader Thursday on Z1570. Lead by Wisnowski. Throw over, and it's not in time. 7-4, Edwardsville with the lead. Edwardsville wins this game. That will be their 18th victory of the season, and they would improve in conference play to 7-2. O'Fallon with 1 loss atop the Southeastern Conference standings. O'Fallon playing today. And where's that game? Looks like O'Fallon was playing East St. Louis today.
In other words, they'll win.
Wisnowski takes his lead. Called strike to the batter Spurgeon.
So you have to win this game to stay a full game behind O'Fallon.
Yes.
Basically.
With that date coming up next week. O'Fallon and Edwardsville. 1-2 the count to Spurgeon. Pitch is just low for a ball. Either that was low or just wide. It was close.
I'm going to say just wide.
2-2 count.
You didn't think so, Uncle Bill?
That looked like a good pitch. Devin Bryan on the mound. Delivers. Swing, and a foul tip is caught by the catcher. Strike 3.
Just came after him there. Maybe a little chip on his shoulder from not getting the last call. You put a little extra zip on that last pitch.
He faced 3 batters. He struck out 2 of them coming in from the pen. Spurgeon strikes out for the 2nd time in the game, and that brings up Lawrence Moore. Moore reached on a single back in the 1st inning, stranded at 3rd. Runner is going. Wisnowski is safe at 2nd base. The throw by Pizzini is late, and a stolen base by Wisnowski.
Well, we are going to give him a stolen base,
Well, that was
right?
a true stolen base there. Lawrence Moore watched that ball out of the strike zone. 1-0 count to the Redbird third base hitter. Runner on second. Alton needs 3 runs to tie. They've only got 1 runner on. Here's strike 1 called to Moore. Counts even at 1-1. Moore steps out, looks for the signs. Right-handed batter, Lawrence Moore the third. Pitcher on the hill, Devin Bryan in relief of Javon Boyd. Misses outside, 2-1 count to Moore. Brent Gibbs will bat next for Alton if Moore reaches base. Edwardsville leads 7-4. 2-1 count to Moore. Pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and the Redbirds are down to their last strike of the game. 2-2 count to Lawrence Moore. Devin Bryan on the hill, trying to protect a 3-run lead. Looking to pick up his second save of the season. Pitch from Bryan, misses outside for a ball. Ball 3, and the count's full, 3-2. Bless you. Wisnowski singled, stole second. He stands there with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 count to Moore. Wisnowski will be running with the pitch. And he hits him, and he swings. And that's a strikeout, and they throw him out at first. Moore was swinging on a ball that hit him in the shoulder. And they're going to rule him, or they're going to say it was a foul ball.
Yep.
They're going to say it was a foul ball, but it looked to me like I don't think it got any part of the bat. That ball was sailing in on Moore. He had already committed himself to swinging.
Boy, you're not kidding.
And the ball came sailing in on him, and it looked like it hit him in the shoulder as he went around, but the umpire was quick to rule that it was a foul ball, even though the catcher got the loose ball and threw on to first, and the batter himself even ran down to first. He didn't think it was a foul ball because he ran down to first. But the umpire ruled foul, and now he'll come back.
I don't know if I've seen anything like that. Have you, Uncle Bill? You haven't either, huh?
Moore's being tended to by a couple of the training staff from the Alton Redbirds squad. Boy, that would have been an odd way to end the game. As it is, the umpire ruled it was a foul. Now we're going to get a discussion from the Edwardsville coach.
Yeah, Tim Funkhauser just wants to know what.
He's laughing a little bit.
Oh, you have to.
And a lot of people don't understand that, yes, you can be hit by a pitch and still be called out swinging at the same time. A lot of people assume that and you could also be hit by a pitch on a ball that bounces. Some people say that that's not considered a hit by
I didn't
pitch.
think he got any part of his bat, so the game should be over.
I didn't hear it at all. Runner on second takes a lead. 3-2 pitch, now a called strike 3, and that will end the game. Devin Bryan comes in and strikes out the side in the bottom of the 7th. The Alton Redbirds leave a runner on second base. The Redbirds fall in this game to Edwardsville by a final score of 7-4, and they suffer their 3rd loss in conference play. The Edwardsville Tigers win it by a final score of 7-4. We'll come back after a short break, and we'll take a look at some final numbers from here at Hopkins Field at Gordon Moore Park. Stay tuned. We'll close things out after this. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
In today's economy, everyone's looking for an encouraging sign. That's exactly what you'll find right here at my State Farm office in Bethalto. I'm Tom Lane, and for 86 years, State Farm agents like me have been helping you protect the things that matter most. That's why more people trust State Farm, and why we consider that a very good sign.
Call Tom Lane State Farm office in Bethalto at 377-8912 or go to tomlaneagency.net.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Add a run in the 5th to take a 5-1 lead. Alton came back in their half of the 5th inning to make it 5-4 when they scored 3 times. The key bat there was a RBI, 2 RBI single by Brent Gibbs. That would be all the scoring for the Alton Redbirds. Edwardsville would tack on a couple of insurance runs in the top half of the 7th, and they win it by a final score of 7-4. For the Edwardsville Tigers, I've got them with 7 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors issued by Alton, and 11 runners left on base by the Tigers. For the Alton Redbirds, 4 runs on 7 hits. Edwardsville committed 1 error, and there were 5 runners left on base by the Redbirds in this game. So Alton, with the loss, falls to 15-7 overall, 6-3 in the conference. Edwardsville improves to 18-5 overall, 7-2 in Southwestern Conference play. Winning pitcher is Javon Boyd. He gets the victory on the mound for the Edwardsville Tigers, and with that win, his record is now 2-1 on the season. For the Alton Redbirds, the loss goes to Kress, the starter. Kress, making his first start, goes to 0-1 in his first pitching appearance of the year. Louis, some final thoughts from this game between these two rivals, Edwardsville and Alton. Alton had the early lead, but Edwardsville had a big 4-run fourth.
Well, that was the difference in the game. They were able to hold the fort until they get to the 4th inning. Kress had given them some problems early on in the game, their hitters, and then they finally were able to make some adjustments. I thought he started to tire out there in the middle innings. His balls were starting to flatten out a little bit, and they were starting to tee off. Todd Hogg got him out of there quickly, but their hitters continued to take some good swings against some relievers. Following that, they were able to have that big 4-run inning. They never relinquished the lead after that, and got a little dicey there at the end, but the 2 runs in the 7th inning were able to kind of give them the separation that they needed.
Redbirds used 7 pitchers on the day. For Alton, Boyd pitched 6 innings. He gets credited with the win, and then Devin Bryan comes in and closes things out in the 7th inning with a 3-strikeout inning to earn the save. Alton's not done. They've got another game they're going to be playing. Alton's set to play Southwestern in the second half of this doubleheader. We've got more sports coming your way. We've got softball between the Marquette Catholic Lady Explorers and the Southwestern Lady Birds. That's coming up next on Z1570. We have to name a Munganast Alton Toyota Player of the Game, and there were some hitting stars in this game, and there were some players that got it done with the bat. And when you look at the Edwardsville Tigers, the key bat at this game was Alec Pizzini. When he drove in those 2 runs with an RBI triple in the 4th, that gave Alton the lead, and you got to name him the Munganast Alton Toyota Player of the Game.
He had 2 hits in the game and back-to-back at bats in the 4th and 5th inning where he was able to deliver RBI hits. Wound up with 3 RBIs on the game, and they were crucial at bats. He also scored 2 runs in the game, so not only did he do a good job behind the plate with his 2 pitchers, but he was also able to get it done on the offensive side as well.
So congratulations to Alec Pizzini. He is the Munganast Alton Toyota Player of the Game with his performance at the bat here this afternoon. Stay tuned. More softball coming your way. For Louis Korak, I'm Craig Ballman saying so long from Lloyd Hopkins Field at Gordon Moore Park.